Let me make sure it's recorded. Yep, I think it's recorded to cloud. All right.
We are.
What's up, y'all? What's up, y'all? My name is Ian Edwards, and welcome to the Soccer Comic Rant. And this is our midweek episode. The transfer window is closed. There was a slew of midweek games. Manchester United finished off the midweek games with a win on the road against Leicester. So I'm amped about that. And we're going to talk about it all. And we got Lee Hudson, stand-up comic from England, Southampton fan, who also should be happy after, beating Neil's Chelsea. Was it yesterday or 2 days ago? When was that?
Yeah, it's yesterday, yeah.
Yesterday? What do you want to talk about first? Like your game, my game?
Well, Neil might be coming on, so I want to save that for him.
Save that. So you want to talk about United's game today?
Yeah,
let's do some transfer talk. And then we could also talk about, like, the first podcast of the season, we gave our top 6 based on where everything was in the transfer window at that point. So now that it's officially closed until January, we should give another top 6, based on all the business. Because transfer businesses changes where teams are going to end up. Like when I made our prediction, we didn't have a Casemiro, we didn't have an Anthony, and we still don't have a De Jong. So, and Haaland hadn't scored 2 hat-tricks in a row. So I'm sure things would have changed.
Oh, for me, I had City top.
Yeah, City top, yeah. I had Liverpool top. And so, I might have to change that now, but we'll get to that when Neil gets on. So let's just go with first things first. United beaten Leicester 1-0 on the road, which it's a good 3 points, and when we look good, we look good. And we're also learning to keep a clean sheet and defend as a team, which is important, which is why Ten Hag starts the players that he starts, because he wants us to defend like a team, like throughout the whole game. We were good without the ball, out of possession, which we're not usually that good at. That's how teams come back and equalize against us. And we kind of took our foot off the gas at the beginning of the second half, and Leicester had a 10-minute spell. And you could say that's bad, but every team, no matter what caliber they are, they're in your league, they're gonna have a spell and they're gonna create some chances. And this, your team's job to shut those chances down, which we did for the pretty much part. Like they had really one good chance at the end of the game that could have been heartbreaking. And the player for Leicester put it way over the bar, thank God. I mean, if Paul Pogba's voodoo priest might have been in effect at that point. But we brought the 3 points home. That's 3 games in a row. Sancho, excellent goal. Some people didn't want Rashford to start or Elanga, but I get why they start. Like it's for the team effort and what they just help us defend for most of the game, and they keep our control. I think the game possession was pretty even, but it looked like United had the ball more just because of how we looked throughout the game. We didn't look that pressed, and we looked like we were on top. We got a lot of fouls. Referee's pretty one-sided. We got like 3 yellow cards. The entire back line except one person had a card. Only Varane didn't get a card. So, but I'm learning to watch Dalot. I think he's got a yellow card in every game and has played with that yellow card and been safe. So I don't want to jinx it, but that's pretty good for him. He's had a pretty good start to the season, at least the last 3 games. Last game he had an assist, and in this game he started the attack, controlled the ball, didn't whack it up, didn't panic, took it down, and I think he passed to Fernandez, who passed it to Rashford, who passed it to Sancho, and and I think Elanga has a lot of speed, and we needed it on that side of the pitch to deal with Harvey Barnes, who's dangerous and fast. So we got to give him props for that. Like, people might criticize like what he didn't do in attack, but I felt like it was very useful having him out there. And also I could tell like why we bought Anthony, because in the second half, when those forwards get tired of chasing people and pressing opposition, like now we have Anthony and Anthony Martial when he's not injured anymore to replace people who get tired. Like Rashford was definitely tired, and Sancho was definitely tired, and you could see that when we started having problems was when they stopped doing their job of like pressing. So, and we put midfielders in, but next time it would be great to put fresh forwards in that could get us that second goal, that could make the win less nail biting. So that was pretty much my assessment of what went on. Baby steps, but steps forward.
Yeah, I thought it was a solid game from you guys. Like you say, you can't control the whole game from start to finish. You had like little spells where Leicester tried to get at you, which they're going to do, especially after they go a goal down at home. They're going to have spells where they're trying to get back in the game. And, people shit on Leicester and Brendon Rogers at the moment, but they've still got some good players. Like Maddison is, a top player in this league. Barnes is dangerous. Dewsbury Hall is dangerous. Vardy's still a menace. So they're not the easiest team to play against. And a 1-0 win there, getting the clean sheet, it's not to be sniffed at. They're back-to-back clean sheets. Like you say, Dalot did really well on the goal, bringing that ball down and starting the attack. And then you see in the second half when he made that block, and then they celebrated it like it was a goal.
Yeah, that's when I knew we might win this, because I was like, they get that energy going again.
Yeah, they just defended it really well. It was, a solid performance. De Gea, when he was called upon, was useful. The big save from the free kick from Maddison. Like that's what he does well, isn't it? Those big shot stopping moments. So yeah, it was a good sort of solid team performance from you guys, and it will only grow the confidence. And like you say, you got Anthony to come in. Casemiro came on again for a little bit longer this time and did a solid job. So yeah, you're building towards something. Hopefully the business you've done is enough. Even Ronaldo, when he came on, I thought looked better than he did Saturday.
Right.
He looked a bit more lively. Yeah, that scissor kick he kind of didn't connect with properly, but that could have been a big chance. A great cross from Dalot on that one as well, to pick him out. So yeah, it's I think there's a lot of positives for you guys from this game.
Yeah, we hopefully Marshall won't spend the season in and out of the trainer's room, and that we'll be able to use him more, because he's been very aggressive in preseason and when he played against Liverpool. So hopefully he can like get back to fitness, and we need, instead of putting in midfielders to keep 1 point, Chelsea style, Mourinho style, and Conte style when he coached for Chelsea, we could like even just go get more goals, get more points, and create a bigger goal difference. But I feel good. So since Neil is here, let's talk about what up, Chakravarty. Since you don't have much time and you got to go soon, so explain what had happened was between Chelsea and Southampton the other day, midweek game.
I think, we are at a place where we aren't really sure of what we are playing and how we are playing. Like, we don't have our plan A in place. And we've seen it, like, even the last game versus Leicester, it was difficult for us to consistently implement our style of play for 90 minutes. And we kind of saw that again. And Southampton were great. Like, they made it really difficult, even in the period where I think we in the period where we were kind of on top in terms of possession and we were having a go at the goal, like their center backs, they made life really difficult. Like I don't even think the keeper had a lot to do because everything was getting snuffed out even before it became a real danger. And we're just a team right now that is even the slightest of things can throw take things. So like defensively we used to be really solid. We are not anymore. We had a Jorginho, Mason Mount, Ruben Loftus-Cheek midfield, and Loftus-Cheek and Mason Mount are going forward. Like Jorginho on his own as a DM, I've said this for a long time, it doesn't work in the Premier League. It can work in setting the tempo in a lot of games against certain opposition, but if you want to consistently be at the top in the Premier League, because it's not even like, I mean, your technique is only important if you have the ball. If it's so easy to get the ball off you by just a few physical qualities that any team can set up against you with, then you might be the best tempo controller in the world. Like you're never even gonna get that opportunity, and it doesn't take a lot of moments to hurt you in that configuration. So I'm just amazed why it took such a disaster class for the club to wake up that we actually need a DM. This should have been, like the frantic pace of what we've been trying to do in the last couple of days, trying to get Alvarez from Ajax, trying to get the PSV DM, and then of course it's so late in the day that now these guys are like letting them go now, and there are other 3 or 4 quality DMs that moved in this window. We never even went in for them, and now we've got this guy Dennis Zakaria from Juventus on loan, who's I haven't really watched him a lot. I know there was a lot of good press about him when he was in Germany with Mönchengladbach, but I think he's not really turned out the way his Juventus career. So much so that they're willing to let go both Arthur and Zakaria, who play in similar roles, on loan. So these are the second choice and the third choice, moving to Liverpool and Chelsea respectively.
Can I give you some hope? Zakaria, he just gets injured a lot, which is a problem because you guys get injured. Your DMs are
in midfield.
Your midfielders are injured. But besides that, I hear he's a good player. It's just kind of injury prone, but hopefully in a tougher league, he's less injury prone, which is kind of impossible. But at least if everybody times their injuries right, you'll have a midfield. So there's hope that way.
Yeah, but I mean, I just don't like the look of when it's such an obvious panic buy. Apparently, we contacted Juventus.
It's a loan, right?
At 6 p.m. Yeah, it's a loan.
Yeah, it's a loan.
So I don't know. I'm not that happy about this one, but I guess the way to look at it is better than not having a DM.
Yeah.
So
plus Chelsea has had well thought out buys the last 2 seasons that none of them worked out. We had Saul last season in a similar role at the last moment. But I'm talking about Havertz. I'm talking about Werner. I'm talking about what's his name from Ajax? Ziyech. Like, these are planned buys, and so hopefully Zakaria, is that his name?
Zakaria.
Yeah, maybe he'll do something for you. But you said something about you guys don't know kind of what your play is and what plan A is.
Yeah.
And that's weird because Lee's team has a bunch of kids that never played in the Premier League that just got to the Premier League. Lee, how come the hell they know what they're doing? And I could see they know what they're doing because they played us this weekend, and I was terrified. I was like, who the fuck are these little motherfuckers? They're huge and playing like they belong here. So how is Tuchel, who's won championships and titles, having trouble while Hausenhudel, who can lose 9-0 more times than once. Like, how the hell is he doing what he's doing right now?
I'm just really pleased with how we've recruited this summer. Like the guy we got in, Joe Shields, who was Man City's head of youth recruitment. We've hired him as our senior head of recruitment, and obviously he's brought in Bazunu and Lavia. We've spotted Bela Kotchap out in Germany for Bochum, who's looked superb so far every time he's played.
He was so good.
Yeah, he's brilliant. He's immense, and then we've signed 2 more kids from City today, Edozie and Larios, I think it is. Who's Edozie's a winger and Larios is a left back. I think it's Larios.
Chelsea are doing so bad. Ross Barkley voided his contract to get out of there.
He's not signed anywhere yet, but he can still move after the deadline tomorrow, because he's
free agent.
Yeah.
Is he going to you, Lee? Somebody's going to you.
I don't know if we got any room for him right now. We haven't really got the space. It's I'm just having a look here who because we signed Coletta Carr from Marseille today as well. He's a centre back, because we've let Jan Valery go to Angers in France permanently, and Bednarek's gone to Villa on a loan. So yeah, Larios and Edozie are the 2, and Maitland-Niles we got from Arsenal as well. He can play centre midfield. So because we let Oriol Romeo go to Girona in La Liga. So Maitland-Niles
is gone.
Your midfielder?
Oriol Romeo, not Romeo Lavia. Oriol Romeo.
Okay. Oh, you got too many.
Chelsea boy.
Too many Romeos.
Barcelona Chelsea boy.
Yeah. He spent 7 years with us. He was like, they were quite emotional on the club Twitter and him as well, like, because he played for us for 7 years. He was a really good player for us. He always gave 100%. He always put some big tackles in the midfield, and apparently he was just the nicest guy off the field as well. He did loads of charity work and things.
So that's the one I'm talking about. He's gone?
Yeah, the skinhead Spanish dude.
Yeah. Oh, that's what I was talking about. Like, I didn't even know he was up for consideration to leave. I was just watching him on Saturday. It feels like a death.
Yeah, it's sad. It's sad he's gone, because, like I say, he was a good player and a good dude. But Romeo Lavia coming in has kind of ended his spell in the team, because last season, every game we started, pretty much most games, if they were fit, it was Ward-Prowse and Romeo in the 4-2-2-2. And he sort of, you could see towards the back end of last season that he didn't have the legs to play as a 2. Like, he was a good CDM if you had 3 players in there. But sometimes he was getting a little bit overwhelmed. Ward-Prowse had the sort of endurance to do it, because he's a bit younger, but Romeo didn't. And Romeo Lavia coming in, obviously Maitland-Niles coming in. We've still got Diallo, who started against Chelsea and played pretty well. It's just the end of his time, really, and it's a good chance for him to go to La Liga. And I think it was partly influenced with the deal with City for their youngsters, because Girona, who he's gone to, are owned by Man City. So it feels like it's a whole big deal with the City football group. We'll give you an experienced player for that team if we can have a couple more of your kids.
Okay. And I want to ask you something. Like, last season, right? You got like some Serbian money, right?
Yes, Serbian, wealthy Serbian owner with some Danish investors as well, and a Danish technical director.
And the Danish technical director from Brentford.
Yeah, Rasmus Ankersen.
So is he also helping with some of those great deals that you guys are coming up with?
I think he's helping do the deals. Joe Shields is our head of recruitment, so he's the guy who's tasked with identifying the players, and then I think Ankersen's the one who negotiates the deals. But I'm sure he's got some involvement as well, because he's a very switched on, intelligent guy. So I mean, we played well enough against Chelsea without these 4 players that we've signed today. So it'd be interesting to see how we add these guys in. But I think that some of
Lee's buzzing.
Hey, we could still go down this season, so we'll see.
We ain't buying that. Now you're adopting that Chelsea attitude when they're about to win a cup. No, I'm not buying it.
We had spells last season where we looked great in the middle of the season, and then we ended the season just staying up because our
that's
form
who
was
you
so
are.
up and down.
That's
Exactly,
who you are.
and we might be that again still. I don't know.
Nah,
With
you weren't that
with the
close
young,
to going down last season. You were good for, you had a bad run, but you were good.
we were closer than I would have liked to have been. I think on the second to last day we were still in the mix. So,
Yeah.
and the thing is, we signed these kids and they're playing great, but with young players, you never know if they're going to consistently maintain it for the season. They might have some dips because they're not used to the endurance of playing every week at that level. And we saw it last year with Livramento. He played every week and he was playing at a high level every week, and then he got an ACL because I don't think his body was maybe used to playing, that intensity every single week. So we need to look after these guys as well, and give them the help when they need it and take them out of the team when they need it. And like I say, we seem to have a little bit of depth now. We've let some players go, like Jack Stevens has gone to Bournemouth on loan, Bednarek to Villa on loan. We couldn't shift Walcott or Redmond. They were both.
Oh shit! I forgot they were there.
Yeah, they were both being touted for moves. Redmond was maybe going to go to Bournemouth, and Walcott, I think, maybe to a Championship team, but the moves didn't quite come off. So we still got them knocking around the place. So yeah, it'd be interesting to see how the rest of the season pans out. But I mean, on last night, I thought, we had some spells in the game where we had to defend and we had to, do the things that Neil was talking about. Where Bella chat, there was one great moment where he stopped a 2v1 with Sterling, and yeah, we did some good stuff there, and then we did some good stuff attacking wise. It was good to see us have a bit of bite in the final third compared to the United game, because the United game, like I said, I think if we played for another hour, we wouldn't have scored. We were causing you guys problems, but we weren't ever really looking like we were going to actually put the ball in the net. Whereas against Chelsea, yeah, I mean, maybe Mendy could have done a little bit better on Lavia's goal. I don't know if you saw that, Neil.
Another near post a lot. And this time, yeah, I think he got a good hand to it. Like usually when Mendy gets a hand to it never goes past him. But yeah, I mean,
I don't know if it's because it came through some players as well, didn't it, a little bit? So maybe he couldn't quite fully be strong on it. But yeah, and then obviously the Armstrong goal was a bit deflected, so can't really fault him for that. But I mean, it goes down as Armstrong's goal, and I'm glad for him, Adam Armstrong, because he's worked really hard this season. He's been running so much in the games we've played. Like, he presses really well. He helps the defenders really well.
Is he the Armstrong that's been there, or the one you got from the Championship?
The one we got from the Championship last season.
Okay.
Yeah. And yeah, I think that's just going to be hopefully great for his confidence and get him scoring as well, because I think, we can't rely on Shea Adams for Danny Ings level of goals. He'll score in spells for us, and like the two he got against Leicester was great, but he's not a 15 to 20 goal a season striker like Danny Ings was. He's a 10 goal a season striker, and you'll take them when they come, but you need other people to weigh in the moments when he's not scoring, which if we can get that from people like we did last night, then great. We can, continue to do that. But yeah, it's an interesting one. We've got Wolves away this weekend, so they're a solid team defensively. They're not doing much attacking wise. They've just signed some dude who's like 6'8" or something though, centre forward. So it'd be interesting to see if they throw him in against Salisu and Bella Kotchap this weekend. That'd be a fun battle. Some guy from Stuttgart, he's Austrian, I think. So yeah, that'll be interesting. But no, I'm pleased with it. It's it was a 3 points I wasn't expecting. I thought Chelsea would be stronger. I know they're having an up and down season, but after we lost to United, I was like, shit, that was the game we could have maybe got something from. Chelsea won't be easy.
So, Neil, are you happy about Aubameyang? You think that'll help give you your team more of an identity, like, because you didn't have a 9, now you got one, and he was doing fine in Spain, to be honest. Like, I was watching those Barcelona games, so he could be, and he knows he's going to go up against Arsenal, and he should be motivated to show him what time it is. So, what do you think?
I mean, see, here's the thing. It's similar to the whole DM thing. Would I rather not have a proven number 9 than have Aubameyang? Of course not. So it's better we got somebody in, but he wouldn't. Yeah, like if at the beginning of the window you asked me like my top 10 choices, he wouldn't have made the top 10. So, but, and again, like we've seen with Lukaku, that where the reason where things went wrong was that in Tuchel's system, the pressing, he needs somebody who can be fluid, interchange with the front three, and also like really press from the front. I don't think Aubameyang is that kind of a player. But again, he's worked with Tuchel in the past, so maybe there's something there that I'm not really seeing as somebody's looking at from far. But I will say this one more thing is that I had the same belief when Sarri pulled out all stops to get Higuain on an insane salary for half a season just because he scored 1 million goals for him at Napoli. And that was like literally he scored a couple of goals against Bournemouth. That was it. So
can I just say in defense of Aubameyang, he's played in the Premier League before.
True.
And Higuain had never.
True.
I feel like does Havertz press?
Yeah, but the problem is he only does that now. Like Havertz has come to the Premier League and learned all the Premier League stuff of like duels, pressing, and he's forgotten the Bundesliga stuff of actually scoring the goals. So, we're in a different.
I think Aubameyang remembers the Bundesliga, and I think he'll score, and I think that's what you need. Sometimes you just need one extra goal, and that's 3 points. And I see Havertz like blowing, like that header, like against Southampton, like it went way over the net, and I'm like, that's an easy header for somebody that tall. He evaded the defense, and I was like, how did you even not get that on target? So I think Aubameyang would at least get that on target.
Ziyech made a brilliant cross-court pass, and Havertz literally had one defender and the keeper to beat, and he beat the defender. But instead of going towards goal, he went away from goal, tried to get an angle, and then hit a weak shot straight to the keeper.
Straight to the keeper, yeah.
Yeah, so these are some of the things like, this doesn't just hurt us as a team, it also hurts individuals like Ziyech, who, suddenly like somebody who can, get some form going with an assist and a goal contribution, like just because there's nobody finishing in front of goal, it's a big problem. One good thing about Aubameyang is like, I mean, to negate
something positive. All right.
Well,
see what you got.
It's actually a double negative, so might be a positive. That when things went bad with him at Arsenal, and Mikel Arteta, he's literally compiling. I think if you see the documentary, he has a dossier of all of Aubameyang's misdemeanors, and I think Tuchel at that point was asked about him, and he said that, well, it's very simple to deal with somebody like Aubameyang. You just tell him that training is 15 minutes earlier than when it is, and he'll be there on time. And so he actually, like, he gave that example, but then he went into like a full 5-minute monologue on how Aubameyang is this special player and they have this special bond. And he, like, even apart from on the pitch, off the pitch, they get along really well, and he knows exactly how to deal with it. So, if those are some of the red flags with Aubameyang, then maybe we have the manager that can deal with it and has dealt with it. So, and hopefully that will then reflect on the pitch. But yeah, I mean, let's see. I think the overall the transfer window for Chelsea, we did a lot of good things. We replaced who we had to replace. It's just the nature of these, last minute signings that kind of, I would have given it a solid 7 out of 10, but now I feel it's like more of a 6 out of 10.
I think Aubameyang's going to be. I think he's going to be motivated though, especially after this All or Nothing documentary was out recently, because like a lot of people have been looking at it and going like, oh, this guy's a joke, this guy's a clown, he's ill-disciplined and that, and it's almost like he watched that and went, well, fuck you guys, I'm going to come back and show you what's up in a different shirt. And like you say,
showed up.
I mean, he won the Golden Boot in the Premier League. People forget that.
Yeah. Like you say, Tuchel's got that relationship with him as well, and like you say, he understands him as a person, as a player. So I think in terms of a short-term move, like for the rest of this season and possibly next season, you'll get something out of him. How long is the contract, have they said?
I think it's a 2+1, but yeah, I gotta look it up.
It also shows just how bad Arsenal are at business financially, that they essentially paid to get rid of this guy. They cancelled his contract or whatever. Barca took his contract on, or at the very least it cost them nothing, or they made nothing from it. And then you're having to pay, 6 months later, you're paying £12 million for him, plus a player in the other direction, which feels kind of crazy, because Arsenal are just doing that at the moment. They're just cancelling contracts. Like they cancelled Bellerin's contract and he's gone to Barca. It's like, if he's gone to Barca, he must be worth something.
Barca's. What? Barca? He went to Barca?
Yeah, Bellerin's gone to Barca. He counts as a homegrown player for them because he used to play for the academy before Arsenal poached him as a teenager. But I mean, Arsenal are letting they spent so much money on players and then just let them go for nothing. Like Pepe's out on loan to Lille at the moment. They do bad business. I mean, I like some of the players they've signed this season, but for years they've just done bad business, and then they're very bad at actually selling players now for what they're worth. They used to be really good at that, and they got decent fees for players, but yeah, they're atrocious at that at the moment, as good as they are on the pitch right now.
But I think, sometimes you kind of, as a club, you kind of delay that decision of selling a player, because we are in the similar situation right now. We are cancelling contracts left, right, center. I think at some point you have to make up your mind of getting rid of the deadwood, no matter what it takes. Yeah. And because what happens is, just to save a few million here and there, I know it adds up, but we've seen issues where managers come up with the first day of preseason training with a bloated squad of like 40, 40 people, half of whom have no future at Chelsea, but you're still there due to some contractual obligations. So you're still having to manage that squad. You can't really get any. And then these people, just to make up numbers, they end up taking valuable minutes that could have gone to a young player who maybe doesn't have a future in the first team today, but can in like 12 to 24 months. And we've seen that happen a lot of times. And I think it has actually had a cost effect on us in terms of the way some of our young players have been alienated from the first team. So the best way to do about it is, when you get that first good bid, like we had a good bid from, I think, Dortmund of 50 million once for Michy Batshuayi. And apparently Marina at the time valued him at 60 million. So we didn't sell him. Now he's we're cancelling his contract on a free.
But doesn't Southampton happen now?
Batshuayi was supposed to go to Nottingham Forest, but even that was not supposed to be on a free. But I think even that fell off. So I don't even know.
It's not happened yet. Yeah.
It's not happened.
So
it could still happen, but it's not yet.
Well, so I have a question for Neil. Now that Marcos Alonso is gone, who is the Chelsea player you're gonna hate the most next? Like, what are you gonna do? There's no Willian for you to hate. There's no Marcos Alonso. So Emerson, is he still there? No, he's gone. He's
West Ham.
West Ham. So who are you, like, how? Because
Kennedy
you
left
gotta
today
hate
as well.
Someone. Kennedy left. So what are you gonna do, man? You might have to just root for one of their teams so that you could hate on them.
Well, Willian's back in the country at Fulham now, so
yeah. So you could be
Willian
a Fulham
hate
fan.
can resume.
Yeah.
Well, Jorginho is not exactly in my best books these days.
Oh, I knew it.
Oh, here we go.
Yeah.
He's Brazilian. I mean, I know he plays for Italy, but he's technically Brazilian as well.
Brazilian, yes. Yeah.
But hopefully Dennis Zakaria does something good. And I don't mind playing Jorginho.
Or he's next.
But he has to be, you can't go through an entire Premier League season with him as your holding midfielder. Like, it's just...
With who?
Jorginho.
Right.
And we've done that for like 3-4 seasons now. And it doesn't... I think for the longest time, Conte kind of papered over the cracks. But Conte has been so injured that now you actually get to see where we are as a team without a DM. And it's just not sustainable. And it's not a surprise that we haven't been consistent in the league. I think with Maurizio Sarri, the first season, we were we were near the top of the table for the first 10 or 11 weeks. With Lampard, in the second season, we are near the top of the season table for 10 or 11 weeks. With Tuchel last season, maybe 15, 16 weeks. And then it crumbles because it's just not, it's a huge part. If you look at all the previous Premier League winners, Fabinho at Liverpool, Rodri and Fernandinho at City, Chelsea with Matic twice. I don't remember a single team that's not, that's won or even competed for the league without a solid DM.
So
yeah, but a word for shout out Marcos Alonso. He won it all. He actually ended up winning the Premier League, the Champions League, the FA Cup. I don't think he won the League Cup, the Club World Cup, the Super Cup. He'll definitely not a legend, but I think he goes into the bracket of a cult hero at Chelsea.
How dare you? How dare you to try to now look positive? I you know what?
I love Marcos Alonso. My favorite.
Don't.
He's my favorite second striker all time at Chelsea.
Yeah, striker. Yeah,
it's him and Damien Duff. Nice.
Well, I feel sorry for the guy who didn't even get a chance to be a Chelsea legend. That's Billy Gilmore, who got sold today.
Yeah, that name come up in the chat. Like, it feels like Arsenal, Man United made a similar move like that where we sold Garner for 15 million to Everton, and I think we're going to live to regret that. Like, we should have loaned him to Everton and we sold him for like 15 mil. Like, he just helped bring Forrest up out of the Championship, and he was injured at the beginning of preseason, so he didn't get to feature that much. But when he did, the same thing that Martinez is doing now, and Delot is doing now, and Varane is doing now, and we got Casemiro to dig in at the end of games and to give us that energy and the enthusiasm. Like, he had that, and we had that for free. We didn't have to pay somebody to get it, and we sold it to Everton. So
I like Garner as well. Garner looked really good for Forest last year. Like, he's a big physical guy, but he can get up and down the pitch like a proper box-to-box centre midfielder, can score goals. I'm surprised he didn't at least get a more of a chance to prove himself there. And like you say, a loan to another Premier League team could have been good for him because he was at loan in the Championship last season. That's kind of the steps normally. Like, it's loan to a Championship team, loan to a Premier League team. Oh, you've done a good job there. Now you get your chance. But to let him go for like 15 million, I presume you guys have got some big clauses in there as well. I'm sure, but it feels like a steal for Everton there, which we don't want to see because I want Everton to fail.
Yeah, me too. But I don't think they will now. Did they get Idris? Who did they get back to? They got Idris Gueye
from PSG. They signed somebody else today as well. I can't remember who. Trying to have a look. There's so many transfers. I'm trying to get through it all. There's some weird ones today.
Yeah. Everton did good last minute in the transfer window. Go ahead.
Let's say Dan James went to Fulham. I've just seen that. That was weird.
Oh, wow. He went to Fulham?
Because somebody else getting games. He was getting games.
Team was trying to get him.
There was a couple of teams after him. Tottenham were looking at him.
Tottenham, yeah. How much did he go to Fulham for?
I think it's a loan. Yeah, it's a loan with a potential to buy.
So weird. Why would they loan him when Tottenham wanted to buy him?
And then did you see the guy that they were trying to replace him with? There was a guy who had agreed that he was going to go for a medical at Leeds.
Oh, yeah.
They agreed the fee. And then all of a sudden he said, no, I'm going to go to Nice in France. Then he flew to Nice, did a medical and failed. So I don't know what was going on with that deal. That sounded crazy. But yeah, there's a lot going on. I'm just
Guys,
scrolling through all the deals today. There's so many. Obviously, it's crazy last
Let's
day.
just get
I
Neil's
gotta
word
go,
on
but yeah, just on
your
Gilmore.
boy. Yeah.
Gilmore, yeah, that's another, like, it's really disheartening that I know he's gonna go to the top. He has it. He has everything for the modern game. Tuchel, I don't think Tuchel ever really rated him. Like, he's never really given him a chance. Even in this preseason, he kind of, like, after one game sent him away. Again, the same thing I was saying, that with the bloated squad, that was the reason cited, that it's tough to keep a high quality of training having so many players. So he let him and Harvey Vale go to join up with the dev squad in Utah. And so you're really not sending a message to Billy Gilmore that you value him. So why is he going to go on another loan? And his camp had made it clear that they don't. I think ideally we would not want to sell him. We'd want to go on another loan. But I think he's like reaching the last year or the second last year of his contract. So he has more leverage now. And
so cheap.
Yeah. And I'm hoping against hope that cheap offer means there is some buyback that we are unaware of.
Okay.
Because that's the only way this makes sense.
And he went to the perfect team.
Sense.
He went to the perfect team.
Really
Brighton Hove.
Yeah.
He is
coach him up.
He's such a Brighton player. Like, he's such a Graham Potter player.
Yeah.
And I think Tuchel will have a lot of questions to answer if whichever way, like, if 5 weeks down the line, a couple of months down the line, he starts complaining about not having midfield depth. We just send Billy Gilmore out. We just send Ethan Ampadu out. So the questions are going to be asked.
You should have kept Ampadu because he's a grinder. He's not pretty.
He's versatile too.
He digs in.
Right,
so yeah, you should have kept him for that, to like CDM that shit.
Yeah. So I mean,
Chelsea need another transfer ban. That's what they need. so these guys get a chance.
Yeah. I mean, to be fair to Tuchel, I don't really think it's an academy thing, because he's giving chances to a lot of academy players. To like the win over Leicester, we had 5 academy players starting. So, and even if you see after Lampard, the number of minutes we gave to academy players under Lampard hasn't really decreased. It's still been the same. I think this season, the way we've begun, it's actually might even go higher. So it's not an academy versus non-academy thing. I think he just, like, certain players, when he doesn't rate them, he doesn't believe in giving chances to them to prove, to be proven wrong. He
definitely Tammy Abraham, Billy Gilmore.
Exactly. Yeah. Yep. Exactly. Yeah. So hey, we'll see. Managers make choices and they're judged on them. Like, I think this summer, he's got unprecedented amount of leeway in making, because at Chelsea we are not used to that. Managers don't make they're probably not even 50% of the decision making in transfers, but here is somebody who's probably got 100% of his decision making. Like, he fumbled the bag. The fact that we don't have a good DM is because he didn't prioritize it earlier in the window, and he's got unprecedented amount of money. I don't know if by the end of it we might just fall short of the all-time transfer record, but it's still a Chelsea transfer record window. Like
doesn't United have that now?
United, did you cross 250 maybe?
Hopefully not.
Pounds. Yeah,
we spent a lot though.
Yeah,
he's got Dubravka as well today. I don't know if that wouldn't be a pricey one, but it all adds up.
Yeah, it all adds up. I'm so glad we got Malacia to and Ericsson. Like, we've done some expensive business, but which is a bad look. But we've also,
I gotta go, guys,
done some good business. All right, man.
So thank you.
You got to leave like Billy Gilmore.
No, but here I do have a buyback. I'll be back next week.
All right.
Cheers, man.
All right. Bye, guys.
All right, peace. So you Lee, you were checking out other transfers, like which ones impress you and don't impress you, or you like, or
I mean, there's a whole bunch of stuff that I just don't even know about.
Let me ask you about Lucas Paqueta. Like, I like him because I've seen him play for
Leon. He came from.
Right. Trying to think of what country is he from. Is he Argentinian or Brazilian?
Brazilian, yeah. He's on the national team at the moment. He's a good player. Because he first when he came to Europe, he went to AC Milan and he kind of flopped. AC Milan, he never really made the breakthrough there. And then went to Lyon, and then it sort of reignited his career. Played well for them in the Europa League last year. So he's a good player. He'll be an interesting one to watch there. Just see, how he contributes to their attack, because they've obviously been struggling a little bit for goals so far this season. But obviously good result against Spurs with the 1-1. Although it was Souček, I think, scored the goal, because they've not really had like their players. They signed Scamacca from Sassuolo, and he's not really. I think he scored in Europe, but he's not done anything in the Premier League yet. Bowen hasn't really found the form that he had last season, because he was an assassin last year. He was one of the best players in the league for me, Jarrod Bowen. He was so consistent. Every single week he was doing something pretty much. So that's definitely an interesting deal. Be interesting to see how they set up now that they've got like Scamacca, Bowen, Antonio, Paqueta. They got all these players that they need to try and fit in. It'll be interesting to see who gets the starting shirts for them. One of the transfers I was really interested in was Arthur Melo to Liverpool from Juve, because I really liked him as a player when he first went to Barca.
Right.
I thought he was going to be like the new Xavi for Barca, because he's a really classy player on the ball. Like, he finds little bits of space. And
can I just, Barca, right? They'll have a player, and I'll be watching that player, and I'm going to name several Barca players, and then it's almost like being a cast member of SNL, where it's their first season and they're in a bunch of sketches, and then they get rid of that comic or that actor the next. He's like, what happened? He was in the sketches. He was doing good. So how come he didn't make it to season 2? And Barca does the same shit. Like, I saw Arthur first of all, they traded him for somebody. Like there was a trade where they took somebody from Juve that they never used. And
Pjanic, I think.
Pjanic, right.
The Bosnian midfielder.
Right. So I don't know if it was a contract thing or what it was, because one of them had a bigger contract than the other. It was kind of shady, but Arthur was a good player. Like, there was a guy that ended up on Watford that was playing really good on the right side for Barca. I forgot his name, but he was playing good. They got rid of him. And then who else? There's a bunch of other players, like even Serginho Dest. Like, now he's on the bench, and I think
he went to Milan. He's done, right.
So it's like,
even De Jong.
And then De Jong, they tried to say he wasn't shit, and I'm like, I saw him play. What you talking about? Like, what standard are you looking at? Because it's unbelievable. Barca will just like, and then you get Jules Koundé, and not that he's bad, but and Kesse to replace somebody. You already have that type of thing that's doing well. So I don't understand Barca's evaluation.
I don't know if it's like some money laundering or something, because it seems like they just make transfers for the fuck of it. Like, I don't know. It's like you can sometimes stick with the same players and give them a run in the team. Yeah. It's not, you don't have to make transfers every single year if things are going well. But no, but Arthur I really like, and I think he's the sort of player that Liverpool need with the injuries they've got in midfield. Henderson age is starting to catch up with him a little bit. Obviously, Thiago's injured. Fabinho, I really like Fabinho, but he's he can't do it all by himself. Keita's injured. Oxlade-Chamberlain's injured. So I think Arthur's a really good signing for them. And I saw a bit of him. Did you ever watch the Brazilian documentary on Amazon, the Brazilian national team one?
No.
You have to, it's a hard one because it's all in fucking Portuguese. It's a subtitle watch. But there's an episode where they focus on Arthur and they sort of show you his family and stuff, because he's made the move to Barca, and then he obviously comes back to playing a national team game in his hometown, and his family will come out for it. And he seems like a good dude as well. So I know they edit those things and whatnot to fit however they want to portray someone, but he does seem like a good dude. And I always liked him as a player. I thought he was going to tear it up at Barca, because he's that sort of player. Like, he's comfortable on the ball when everything's chaotic in the midfield. He'll just get on the ball and he'll play the simple passes and break some lines. So I'm interested to see how he does there, because I mean, he's what they need. If he
sounds
can
like a deal
the,
we should have made.
Maybe you guys have. Well, I mean, if you kept Garner, you could have had another option in midfield. But I think you'll cope with what you've got there, and you kept the same team as you did against us because you were that happy with it. So Casemiro had to, like I say, come on off the bench again. But there's a few other random little moves, like Dendoncker went from Wolves to Villa. Villa have been doing some weird business for people who can't get in teams that are like mid-table Premier League teams, like Bednarek from us, Dendoncker from Wolves.
Yeah, they're doing almost like the person who used to buy players for Everton went over there and is buying worse players. Like,
yeah, they're just picking up people that can't get in teams that they should be aspiring to be above.
Yeah. It's like, what? I don't see where they would need a Dendoncker. He's a versatile player because he could play defense or midfield, but I just don't see that as someone Villa needed. Like, that's what's going to solve the problem this weekend against Man City.
Yeah, I don't know if they were getting him in because they thought they might be losing Douglas Luiz, because I think Arsenal were sniffing around him. But the Douglas Luiz deal doesn't seem to have happened, so I think he's staying there.
What do you think about Isak to Newcastle, and he scored this week against Liverpool?
I mean, the guy looks
no training session.
The guy looked a handful in that game. Obviously, the goal he took so well. Like, it's your debut. Like you say, you've not trained. You're put through into the box, and then he didn't fuck around. He was like, "I'm putting this in the back of the net. I don't care who this goalkeeper is. He might be one of the best in the world, but I'm beating him." And then he had that other chance when it got ruled offside, but he got into the box again. He cut onto his right foot and just smashed it in the roof of the net. So yeah, he looks a handful. I said on the podcast earlier in the week that I thought he was a great buy for them, and that I'm surprised other clubs didn't have a look at him, because he's only 22, and I think his ceiling's so high because he's just got everything. He's technically a very good player, but he's also mobile. He's physical. I really like him, and I think he's going to be a great player there. But yeah, I mean, what a debut scoring at Anfield. It's a shame they couldn't hold on. That game was obviously they got back in it with an equaliser, Liverpool, and then I mean, it felt like the ref was just playing until Liverpool scored for the winner, because I think it went up with 6 minutes added time, and maybe Newcastle wasted a little bit of time to get some extra put on, but I think the goal was in like the 98th or something. But Newcastle have only got themselves to blame, though. I mean, they didn't clear that ball in the box. They had a couple of chances to clear it, and they just hit it back up in the air. And then what a finish from Carvalho. I mean, just to swivel and smash it. Well, I mean, great moment for him, at Anfield as well, to score that goal in front of the home fans. I know he got one against Bournemouth as well, didn't he? I think.
Yeah,
with a good hit as well. But
two goals in a row.
The one against Bournemouth didn't really mean as much because it was as part of an absolute drubbing. I think it was 6 or 7-0 already by that time.
That was just a warm-up goal.
Exactly, yeah. It was like a training goal kind of thing. And then this one, though, 98th minute winner to win 2-1 when your team really needed it. It will be big for him.
Yeah. What do you know about Amadou Onana to Everton from Lille?
He's already played a couple of games for them, and he's looked pretty solid. He's just a good sort of robust midfielder. I only saw a little bit of him at Lille, but he seems like a good buy. I think they got him for a reasonable price. I think it was around 20 million, maybe. I might be wrong.
Let me see. I'll tell you. 30 million pounds.
30 million,
which is 35 million euros. So you're in the vicinity.
Yeah,
sure.
But I think he's a good player. Again, he's one who has the potential to improve as well. I just feel like Everton are signing a lot of central midfielders. They only got one striker in.
Sorry, Puig is another person Barcelona just got rid of and just acted like he couldn't play.
Well, he
Ricky
hit a great
Puig.
assist. He hit a great assist for Chicharito on his
He
debut.
scored a great goal yesterday or the day before too.
Yeah. But the through ball he played for Chicharito was amazing. It was that proper Barca DNA showing up there. He saw an angle and he just played a pass on the floor that split like 4 defenders to put Chicharito in. But yeah, Onana looks decent. Like I say, Everton are just signing a bunch of centre midfielders there. Like say, Gay's back, Garner's a centre midfielder, Onana's a centre midfielder. They only signed one forward, which was Mopé, and he's not exactly prolific. Like he was like, Brighton was struggling for goals when he was there.
They got rid of him.
Yeah, he's a hard worker, but I don't know if he's going to go there and score them the goals they want to score. He'll maybe create some space for there because they've got some decent wingers there, like Gray and McNeil.
Right.
So maybe he'll make a bit of space for them. But yeah,
I
thought they would have gone.
He'll replace the dive in that Everton is going to miss now that Richarlison is gone. Yeah, because Mopé likes to pretend he got hurt when he didn't. So that's that. He'll give him that. Zinchenko. I'm just looking at the.
Forrest have obviously signed 1 million players this window. Now they signed Willy Bolly from Wolves because they wanted another defender. I don't know. They got him in. Serge Aurier is going in there as well. They have that deal hasn't been done yet, but he's a free agent because he got released by Villarreal, so that one can be done after the window. But yeah, there's a few other deals. So Akanji to City from Dortmund. Good signing, but I don't know why City need like 5 top-class centre-backs. They got too many.
It's like when I heard about that deal, I'm like, why didn't United get him or just somebody else? Like, how is City able to like, every time they do a deal, you're like, shit. It's almost like a comic, like a great comic. You see them do a joke, you're like, why didn't I think of that? Why didn't I do that? Why didn't I say that? Why didn't I work on that? And then, like, that's what City is. Like, and it's like, that's another one of those, man. Like,
15 million as well. Like, you got
nothing.
Chelsea out there. You got Chelsea out there spending 70 million on Fofana. Why didn't they know this guy was available for 15 million?
And they did that deal before City did the deal.
Yeah.
So they had the opportunity. So it's so bananas.
Yeah, it's pretty crazy. But like, I don't know why he's gone to City as well, because City play with 2 centre-backs and they've got Laporte, they've got Diaz, they've got Stones, they've got Ake, now they've got this guy as well. They've got Akanji. Like, you don't need 5 world-class centre-backs for 2 positions. Right. You need probably 3 starters and 1 backup. You don't need a 5th. It's unnecessary unless they're seeing Ake more as a left back this season, because obviously they lost Zinchenko and they need another player to cover there. But yeah, that was a pretty nuts deal to, for them to do there, because they're pretty stocked. It's a strange position for them to need people. I see you guys loaned out Amad Diallo again to Sunderland this time.
Yeah, that's good. He needs to get out there, because I don't want him to be a flop. Like, when we got him, we had a chance to get Caicedo, and we didn't, and we got him in Pellistri. So I want our young players that we bought, I want them to come back into the team and be something and mean something and be like legends. So he definitely has the skill, but he also has that flair player thing where sometimes they try to do too much. Yeah. So hopefully, playing for a team like Sunderland will kind of like get that out of him. Also, I don't know how attractive a football they do play, so I hope they don't ruin him either down there. But
they'll play some decent football. They just changed manager though, so hopefully there'll be a good side still for him to go to. But I think United would have done their homework. They wouldn't have let someone that talented go somewhere where he's not going to be used properly. You'd hope, but yeah, there's not much else.
You think United did their homework? I don't know. It is. You don't know United. You'd hope so, but I've done giving up hope that they, let's talk about, speaking of transfers. So who do you think is the best Like, if there was this answer on Sky TV, I was like, you people are bizarre. That is not the best transfer. They were like, Gabriel Jesus is the best transfer so far. And I'm like, you ever guys ever heard of a team named Man City?
Yeah, Jesus was
named Haaland.
Jesus was great business for Arsenal. Yes. He's the number 9 they need. He suits their style of play really well. He's a great signing, but the fact that City have got Haaland, he's banging hat-tricks, and the fact they got him for the price they got him for, I know they're paying like crazy wages and everything, but that he should have been 3-figure millions for them, and they got him for under that. Like he should be the most expensive player in the world right now, and he's not. The fact that he's cost less than you guys paid for Anthony.
Hey man, don't bring that up. Come on, man. That's dirty.
I mean, the overall package will probably be cheaper because he'll be on much higher wages. But I mean, he's the player City were crying out for. He's that all-round centre forward that can do everything. He's as good a finisher as Aguero was, but he's also a monster physically as well. And it'll be interesting to see whether he's the player who can be that final missing piece for them in the Champions League now. See if he can be that difference maker. Finally get them past the the hurdle that they're trying to get over, because I feel like that's the only reason Pep's stayed there so long. Normally he doesn't stay at clubs this long. He's almost like, I need to fucking win this thing.
Yeah, I haven't seen Pep in love since Messi. Like, he stares at Haaland like City's very thorough. And my battery only has 9% left, so we only got 9% left of a podcast. But City is very thorough. So they know when they're buying someone, they know what they're buying. They've completely studied the person, and they know exactly what they're getting. I think Pep is getting more than what he thought he was getting. And this guy knows football. Like I'm looking at, I'm trying to name what Haaland feels like after the last few performances. And it's like, this motherfucker, if Targaryens were real and we're alive, this motherfucker's a Targaryen. He's a freak. Targaryen. He's a freak. This motherfucker rides dragons. He rules. Not Middle Earth, but I forgot where Game of Thrones. It's like Westeros. This motherfucker is turning the Premier League into Westeros, and he's running it, bro. They're gonna change the, what do they call it when you win the highest score in the league?
Golden Boot.
The Golden Boot. It's Iron Throne. He's gonna be on the Iron Throne of the Premier League scoring title for a minute. Like, it's crazy.
Speaking of top of the table, Martin is no longer top of fantasy football. That lasted for 3 days, from Monday to Wednesday, and then he was gone. So he had to enjoy that. He's down to 6th now, so that's always good to see.
Ooh, good boo. Where am I at?
You are around the similar. You're 25th. You were 23rd after the weekend, so you dropped 2 places, but not by much. I'm in 12th at the moment. Martin's 6th. Lyle Gillen is back to number 1. Darwin's best friend. He had a pretty good week.
What up, Lyle?
He had Salah, Martinelli, Haaland. He captained Haaland. He had Cancelo as well. So he had a pretty strong game week. So he's up there. But yeah, there's a few others who. Joachim Henriksen is a new name up near the top. He's number 2 right now. He had a pretty good week. He had Salah, Martinelli, Haaland, Cancelo. He had a pretty good time as well. I think he was one of the top scorers. Garjan Lau in 3rd. He got 89 points, and Jason Gascoigne got 89 points. I think they were the 2 highest in the.
Garjan Lau?
Yeah.
Garjan, you might have gotten 89 points, but your name is hard as hell to pronounce. So you got to deal with that for the rest of your life. Who else? Let me just be petty, because I'm
him and Jason Gascoigne both got 89, so they did really well this week. And
Jason Gascoigne, are you an alcoholic like Spurs Gascoigne?
You're just going into roast mode now.
Yeah. I'm angry. I'm at. You know what? I forgot to even adjust my team because I was dealing with the podcast and posting it and making thumbnails. So before I knew it, it was Tuesday and the shit started and I had no chance. So I had to I just got what I got. So, but I should.
Yeah, you had Firmino on your bench with 9 points.
Yeah. I didn't get a chance to do anything.
So yeah, man. You missed out. You had Bernardo as captain. He did okay. He got a goal. You had Zaha who scored, but you had Vardy in there. You haven't got Haaland in your team. You need to find a way to get Haaland in there because
I will now.
It's like sure. Every time I see Haaland do well, I'm not really thinking like, oh, that'll do great for me in fantasy football. It just makes me think, oh, I'm not going to fall behind too far because everyone has him. So it's one of them things now. It's I mean, let me have a look and see. 73.8% of people playing have Haaland.
Wow, and they're probably all at the top. Most and 90% of them are probably at the top.
Yeah. 83% have Jesus. No, 80.3, but only 17% of people have Kane, which is interesting. Yeah. Nobody likes Spurs.
So good luck. Good luck in the league, guys. You're doing a great job. You're killing the shit out of me. I need to get my shit together. So maybe after this podcast, I'll update my stuff.
Transfer session.
Yeah, a serious transfer session. I need to get my deadline in order. Trying to think if there's anybody else. Haaland, Richarlison's over there giving assists. He's on a better team.
Some big games coming up this weekend.
Oh yeah, let's deal with those. That's a good idea.
Obviously, you guys against Arsenal. That's it's the test to see how far you come now. Can you be the team to stop Arsenal's winning streak?
Hopefully, we could get a tie here. I don't think we could beat them. They're very determined. We seem to have starting to develop a defensive identity. But if Anthony can play and if Marshall is better, which I don't think he will be, it would really help us a lot. So if we lose or only get a point, I'll know it's because our reinforcements aren't fully there. And it's just the dropping of points won't hurt me as much because I know these guys will be integrated soon. And based on what I saw the last 2 days, we need these people to help us keep up this intensity of this front line to break other people's lines and to press them and keep them away from our area and for us to keep control of games and for us to look less vulnerable at the back and to help us all with our team defending. So I do want to get some points from Arsenal just to slow them down, and pull them back to the pack. Not that I don't think we're better than them anyway. So I guess before we go, let's. What's another game that's big this weekend? Chelsea, West Ham,
Everton, Liverpool as well. The Merseyside derby.
The derby, yeah.
See, Lampard can get some business. I don't know if his new players will be ready in time for that, but that's a big game either way. Yeah,
he'll throw them in.
But yeah, like you say, Chelsea, West Ham is definitely up there as well.
That's crazy because we don't know what Chelsea's going to show up in which half. You know what I'm saying? Sometimes you don't know which team is going to show up for a game, but you don't know which Chelsea's going to show up in which half. And West Ham, they should have some confidence now. They've gotten 4 points in their last 2 games, which was more than they had before. So they're growing and so that, and it's in London. It's at Chelsea. Chelsea's kind of fragile right now. Even if they, but maybe I think he'll play Aubameyang at least in the second half or for 30 minutes, and if they need a goal. So
I want to see if Fulham can cause Tottenham some problems. Fulham are tricky right now.
Yes, they can. Yes, they absolutely can. That's a really good game. That's going to be tough to decide because there's a bunch of 7:00 games. So there's Forrest, Bournemouth, which I could miss that. No disrespect. Leeds Brentford is interesting for its own reasons. The America's team. Fulham is also another America's team. They got 2 Americans on that team. And so that's Fulham Tottenham game is definitely a game. And then Chelsea West Ham at 7 o'clock too. But no,
I think Newcastle Palace should be a good watch.
Yeah, that's a good
Palace
watch.
playing some good stuff right now. You know, Zaha's goal against Brentford was world class midweek. Yeah. That was something else. So yeah, him going up against Newcastle and their new guys, that'll be a good battle.
I loved Zaha's interview after the 1-1 tie against Brentford. He was pissed.
Yeah.
Yeah, he was like, I don't know what it is. Like, we're up 1 and we just fall back. That's not the plan, but it just happens. And he was just like, yeah, scored, but we should have won, you know. So just the passion behind that, that's the Zaha you want to see. And he wasn't trying to get a move out of there. Even though he believes in where he's at. And he says he has a special understanding with Crystal Palace and it feels like family. So he's in, you know, and he's not out. He's probably in 30 or early 30s, but he feels like he ain't, I think, you know.
Yeah, maybe late 20s, 28, 29. I'm not 100% sure.
Let me click on him. Click on his, let me go to a different, I just want to see how old Zaha is. Crystal Palace, Brentford, lineups.
29, I got there first.
29, right, you got there first. Shit, son of a. Yeah, that's a pretty good age, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
He
it's
seems
about
like
time he matured.
Yeah, you got the kid Zaha, unfortunately. You bought him too early.
Yeah, we couldn't have kept him this long to wait for this. So we had to sell him. And if they sell him, we still get some money out of it. Yeah. That's probably why they haven't sold him. But yeah, so what do you think about Everton, Liverpool? Just if you had to guess.
I mean, it's at Everton, I think. Yeah, it's at Everton. So at Goodison Park, you know, the atmosphere is going to be jumping there. I think Liverpool will be confident now. Obviously, the Bournemouth game picked them back up after you beat them down. And then the late winner against Newcastle would be great for their confidence. So, yeah, I think it'll be a scrap. I think Everton will make it difficult for them. I don't think it'll be a Liverpool steamroll win, especially with, you know, like I say, they're lacking a bit of depth because of the injuries and stuff right now. But I think Liverpool will win maybe 2-1 or 1-0 or 2-0. It won't be a big score.
Right. I think it might be a tie. You know why? Because Everton usually are shitty on the road, right? Doesn't matter who they play. They just haven't been good on the road. Like most of their good games last season were home, you know, and they were shitty when they knew they could get relegated. But their last 2 games on the road, Everton has got a point and they put up a fight. So if they're putting up a fight away from home, they're going to put up a fight, and especially in a derby against their rivals. And they just got some new people. So yeah, I feel like Frank has been doing a good job because I nominated them for relegation. You there?
Yeah.
My battery is telling me. I nominated them for relegation, and I've been impressed with their 2 last games and their 2 last points and the fight, because they were inconsistent. Like they would never fight. Some games they'd just be like, there's just the jerseys would show up, but I'm not seeing that now. So I like their chances to get a point out of this game. And for Fulham, Tottenham, just because Martin's annoying, I'm going to go for Fulham. And because Fulham can ball and they can put up a fight, and they just beat a decent team. They beat Brighton. You know, there's no reason to not believe in Fulham right now. It'd be good to see the Conte train get slowed down.
Yeah, I'd love to see Fulham win, but I think it'll be a draw, that game. I could see that one being a 1-1.
I'll take that. That'll be acceptable. And Chelsea, West Ham?
I think Chelsea will do it just. They're at home. You know, they've been doing better at home than they have away. I think like they look good against Spurs. I know they drew, but that was probably their best performance. I thought they were just done over by some dodgy refereeing. And then against Leicester, they played well with 10 men against Leicester and still came out with a win. So I think they'll have just a bit too much for West Ham. But West Ham won't make it easy again. That one won't be a comfortable win, but I think it'll be a win for Chelsea.
I'm gonna say that one's gonna be a draw.
Could quite easily, yeah.
Yeah, because West Ham they fight. They don't roll over for people, and it's a derby. So I say that. And just the last game, Villa versus City.
Just the team you want to play when you're a manager under pressure.
Oh man.
I hope they throw Bednarek in and lose 9-0.
I mean, they bought Bednarek and Ben Donker. It's crazy. It's not going to help them.
Yeah. Bednarek talked some shit after he left us as well.
Oh yeah, what did he say?
He just said like, Villa's the right place for me. I need to go somewhere where I can progress and stuff. It's like, you played for us and you lost 9-0. He started both 9-0 games. He had some good games for us, but he was also like, he always had a mistake in him. There was always something. And then this year he's been pushed out the team by 2 younger guys. And right. I think he's just bitter. Like he's not taking it well. So yeah, like I say, hopefully they start him straight away and they lose 9-0. That'd be hilarious. Good to see.
How old is he?
Bednarek, I think he's like 27, 28 maybe.
Yeah. I just feel bad for Villa this weekend. Like this is gonna be rough. You know what I mean? Like they'll probably play 9 at the back and try to sneak extra players on in the midfield and play with 15 people and pay the ref to look out for them, because this is just not going to be. When Haaland the Targaryen pulls up in Birmingham, it's going to be rough. Like,
in all seriousness, I don't think City will walk all over them. I think Villa will fight because they need to, and it will only be like a 2 or 3-0 win for Villa, for City. Just a 2 or 3-0. Right. I think they'll go easy on them. Comfortable but easy.
All right. I mean, Haaland is scoring 2 or 3 just for himself, and then that other kid, the Argentinian kid from River Plate, he's stepping up too. He's like, hold on, they bought me too. I'm here. I can ball too.
Yeah, he finished well with Alvarez, those chances.
Yeah, man, class. Like, imagine if he becomes like the attacking version of. Remember when Tevez went to West Ham and he went with, what's his name again?
Mascherano.
And everybody's like, forgot that name for a minute until Mascherano says, I will be remembered just as much as Tevez or more. And, went to Barca and won multiple titles, Champions Leagues, and was in their midfield and was a defender. And so
he balled out at Liverpool as well.
Yeah, balled out at Liverpool. So he might, this kid, yeah, I might remember his name in the next few years. I think it's Julian Alvarez, but I'm not sure. Yeah, all right. And also Man U, and then we're out. Because I don't think we brought it up, but I don't think we said anything.
I'm saying 1-1. That's my prediction.
I like you, Lee. I like you. I'm saying 1-1 too. Yeah, that's what I take that. I take a point, and then who do we play after that? Crystal Palace, and then we go to Crystal Palace. We've been on the road 2 games in a row. We get 1 at home. I think our fans will really help, and they'll be excited because we get to unveil Anthony, whether he plays or not. And the last home game against Liverpool on some rivalry shit, when the fans show up and they get that old feeling of like Old Trafford back, like everybody's just wants to bring it back, and they think Ten Hag is the guy to bring Old Trafford back. And the players at home hearing the fans and like looking at this team who's been flawless and try to come in here and remain flawless. Like, we ain't gonna try to give them anything easy, and we're not afraid to get yellows and play with them. So, yeah, I'll give us a chance of getting a point.
In between Arsenal and Palace, though, you've got Sociedad. Europa League starts next week.
Yeah, it's crazy, right? So we just had practice playing on Thursday because next week's champion Europa. I'm sorry, I said Champions League. I'm so used to saying that. Europa League. yeah. So yeah, we'll see how that goes. That's group stages, right?
Yeah, but you're playing Sociedad with no Isak, so
yeah,
that's a bonus.
They should. Yeah, they got David Silva though. But
he's like 50 now though.
Yeah. Maybe we could really break in Anthony in that game, and maybe Marshall would be better, would be healthy, would be fit. So
it should be a good little rotation opportunity for you.
Yeah, for sure. Well, all right, Lee. What time is it there?
It is 2 a.m. Just gone 2 a.m.
Oh, fuck it, man. Get some rest, bro. Yeah. And thank you all for listening and watching. Congratulations to the people in the fantasy league doing their thing. We got games upon games. We got this weekend. It's going to be action-packed. Thanks for listening. Like and subscribe. And leave some reviews on YouTube or iTunes or Spotify and comment. And yeah, man, good luck with your teams, y'all. Peace. 1.